Today I'm going to show you guys 5 simple steps on how to transition out of calorie macro counting into intuitive eating. Step 1, start out by weighing your protein and your carb source. Don't worry about veggies. I've never heard of anybody overeating veggies and getting fat and being able to derail their progress. Fat sources are going to be the last thing that you add. At this point, you actually want to pay attention to what it actually looks like the actual amounts that you're weighing. You want to really pay attention and make sure you're looking at that amount too, so that you get used to those amounts as well. I would say through each of these steps, you definitely want to do this for at least a week. If you're someone that learns rather quickly and you feel more comfortable, you can certainly lessen the amount of days that you actually complete these steps. Step 2, you want to pay attention to your body cues. So this is a great way to be able to start listening to your body more, even also kind of paying attention to how certain food groups are making you feel. For instance, you might have some sort of intolerance to maybe milk that you really didn't pay attention to. And so this really allows you to kind of listen to your body as well. You do want to eat when you're hungry, and then you want to stop when you're full. I would say actually, if you're looking at losing weight, you do want to stop a little bit before that. So maybe when you're just satisfied, it is actually natural to feel just a fraction amount of hunger. You shouldn't be starving when you're in kind of like a decrease and you're looking at leaning down. If you're looking at gaining weight, then you do want to eat just a little bit more too. So you're really paying attention to kind of like the fullness of how you feel. Step 3 is actually where I want you guys to kind of like wean off of having to weigh your protein content. So you're gonna start implementing what's called the hand technique. And while you're not gonna implement this yet for your carbs, I feel like carbs are a little bit more tricky. A lot of people end up overestimating the amount that they're eating without weighing. So things like rice, things like oats, stuff like that. You know, I think it's a lot easier to overestimate those amounts. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to start looking at the palm of your hand. So you're going to basically just forget about the fingers here, just this portion right here. And this is pretty much the size of the protein that you want. Now, just keep in mind, this is going to be per meal, and you do want to kind of also look at the thickness of your hand as well. So step 4, now I want you guys to use your hand to actually judge the portions for your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. Since you're already familiar with the palm size for your protein, you can actually also now start incorporating carbs by putting it in a cupped hand. So it's basically a cupped hand size. So that would be like rice, remember, not flat, but a cupped size. So that's going to be, you know, like some brown rice, some oats, you know, things like that. Veggies, I do like to double up on my veggies. I rarely hear, or I've actually never heard anybody say, I just gained all this weight from friggin' broccoli. So, you know, you can definitely increase your veggie intake. Normally it's recommended per meal, a fist size, but I would definitely say increase that, you know, because the more fiber that you have, the better. It's gonna also help with nutrient content as well. I will definitely get into that in another video for sure. And if you're someone that needs to increase your protein, if you're looking at a little bit more protein, you can actually add maybe like a palm and a half. Now that we've gone over that, you're wondering probably, what about fat, right? So fat should be pretty much a thumb size. So it's just gonna be a very small amount. That could amount to roughly maybe like a tablespoon of olive oil, you know, a small portion of almonds, even maybe kind of like a nice thick slice of avocado, something like that. So step 5 is basically when you're pretty much ready to graduate into the realm of intuitive eating. So a little side note, I have kind of like a hybrid method of intuitive eating that I do. So I do know a lot about nutrition. I've certainly learned a lot over the years, just from calorie counting, from school, all of that good stuff. But you don't need to be a nutritionist or a certified nutrition coach in order to intuitive eat. I just want to let you guys know that it's actually a lot more simple. So keep in mind, paying attention to those body cues, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, stopping when you're maybe a fraction less than full, depending on your goals. You are also going to make sure that you keep protein that main source of creating a plate. Always make sure that you're eating plenty of nutrient-dense veggies And also you want to make sure that you're having unprocessed sources of carbohydrates. So remember, intuitive eating is not just eating a bunch of candy bars and just whatever the heck you feel like. You're really paying attention to that feeling that food gives you and those hunger cues.